What does it mean that kindness surrounds the one who trusts Hashem? He says that the Rasha has agonies, has difficulties. But the righteous, kindness surrounds him. He doesn't say that the righteous doesn't have agonies, doesn't have difficulties. He doesn't say that. He says the Rasha, he has difficulties. He has agonies. He has pain. He has suffering. The righteous, he has kindness surrounding him. Meaning that he also has agonies and pain and difficulties, but he has kindness surrounding him as well. Why? Because the righteous has bitachon in HaKadosh Baruch Hu, knowing that the difficulties are from Hashem. And that knowledge, that confidence that the difficulties are from Hashem gives him ease, relieves him. That is, he knows that these agonies, these difficulties are actually kindness from Hashem. He's doing him a favor. Because he knows that these difficulties have a special significance in Shamayim. Where every time Hashem gives you a difficulty, He could be cleaning you up from some sin you made. That if it's not for you suffering in this world, you could be suffering in Gehinnom for an endless amount of time. Or it could be that He's trying to elevate you. And the only way to elevate someone is by putting them up for the test. You cannot become more muscular without lifting weights. You cannot become more stronger without putting on more weights, without putting on more difficulty on you. You cannot become more righteous without more tests in life. So the righteous, it's not that they don't have agonies and pain. They do, but they view them as kindness. Because they know that these agonies, these difficulties, have a significance. It's actually a favor from Hashem. This is why Rabbi Elazar ben Rabbi Shimon, the son of Rabbi Shimon Bar Yochai, says in the Gemara Baba Metzia, page 14b, every night before he would go to sleep, he would say, Boy Ra'ai, Boy Chavivai, come to me, my friends, come to me, my significant, my dearest. Who? Come to him what? He was married with a kid. Come who? Who's coming? Disease, abscesses, infections over his entire body. He would call them, come my friends, come my dearest. And instantly his entire body would become like Job, full of abscesses, full of infection. They would have to change the bed sheets of his house 60 times per night. 60 times per night, because it would fill up the entire bed with infection and blood and goal nefesh. 60 times per night. One day, his wife hears him say, come to me, my lovers, come to me, my dearest, and realizes, wait a minute, he's doing this to himself. Why? Because every day in the morning he goes away, and he goes to the Bet Midrash and he learns all day. But then when he comes home, his blood, his infection, his pain, his suffering. Why is it only at night? And one day she sees, wait a minute, he's doing it to himself. He's bringing it to himself, and she says, you can't do this. I've spent the entire inheritance that I got from my father's house to fix the house because of all the, trying to heal your infections and so on. Getting new bed sheets, 60 bed sheets a night. I've spent my entire life savings buying bed sheets because of all the blood. Never said a thing. But now I see that you're bringing this to yourself. If you don't stop, I'm leaving you. Rabbi Elazar ben Rabbi Shimon said to her, go. Go! This is between me and Hashem. She left. She took the son. A little time passed. And of course she loved him, so she wanted to come back. But first she sent her son. She said, listen, go tell Abba that if he's willing to stop, I'll come back. She sends the son. The son gets to the house expecting to see a tragedy. Why? At least when the mom was there, she would clean up after him. She would change the sheets. She would clean the house. Everything looked orderly at least. So he figured no one's there. He didn't get remarried. He didn't give his mom a get or anything. He didn't get remarried. Nothing happened. So he figured that the whole house is in shambles. Probably blood everywhere. Probably it's terrible and disgusting and smelly. But hopefully it's not too late. He gets to the house and he sees the house is pristine. Cleaner than anything they've ever seen before. Opens the door. He sees the servants everywhere. Cleaning, painting, doing, fixing. Servants everywhere. He's like, wait, where did Abba get all this money from? Finally, he sees his father. He says, Abba, what is all this? He says, go tell your mom that my Abba in Shamayim, when she left, he decided to take care of me. So she'd come back though. She's welcome to come back. He says, Abba, how did this happen? Where did you get all this money? He says, you see, son, I didn't bring the suffering on myself because there's something wrong with me. I brought the suffering onto myself because I know that suffering in this world is kindness from Hashem, because it replaces the suffering in the next world. That's much, much worse than we can imagine. The suffering in this world, if people only knew it, they would pray for it. But we're not on a level of praying for it like Rabbi Elazar. At least when we get it, stop complaining about it. But he tells his son, you see, the suffering has a lot of weight in Shamayim. If I study Torah without suffering, it has a certain weight. If I study Torah with suffering, it's 1,000-fold more valuable. It's 1,000-fold more valuable. To raise my neshama to a higher level requires suffering. So I brought the suffering onto myself. And since HaKadosh Baruch Hu saw my intentions were good, my intentions were pure, it was not to show off, no one knew about it, I never told anybody, only by accident your mom found out. Even Harsh, I didn't tell her. I didn't want her to think I'm overly righteous or anything. Even I didn't tell her, meaning mamash, pure heart. Hashem saw my intentions, and he said, she doesn't want to take care of you, responsibility is on me. And what did he do? There was a bunch of businessmen traveling. And Hashem made their boat in the middle of the ocean start shaking. He shook up the entire world when your mom left. The entire world started shaking. So this boat could start shaking. And all of these people started worrying for their life. And started praying to Hashem. And said to Hashem, please Hashem, if you save us, we're going to go and we're going to find a tzaddik, one of your tzaddikim, and we're going to give all this money to the tzaddik for your Torah. Immediately the ocean stopped. They stopped at the next beach and they asked, who's the Gedol Hador? Said Rabbi Elazar ben Rabbi Shimon. We went right there, they took all their gold. Here. They saw the house. He said, what happened here? Where's the tzaddik? They saw me with blood everywhere. He said, immediately. They spent a bunch of money to get all the servants, to fix all the house, to do everything. Why? Hashem takes care of his people. So you can call your mom and tell her she can come back. Needless to say, she came back, and also now this time around, realized what kind of tzaddik her husband was. So much so that when he died, she didn't bury him. She left him in the attic for over 20 years. 20 years. Now, you go take a piece of meat, take a piece of steak, take a piece of anything, just put it outside for 5 minutes, not for 20 years, 5 minutes. You're going to see some stuff change. 5 hours, you're going to see worms and maggots come out of it. 5 days, there's not going to be any more meat. A dead body, 20 years, the people from this generation should be suffering from the smell. In this case, 20 years didn't even smell. Why? He sanctified his body to such an extent that it didn't smell. No one knew that he was there. One day she saw a worm came out of his ear. She started getting worried. He came to her in a dream. He says, no, don't worry, honey. Everything is okay. That worm just came out because there was one time I heard something that could have been Lashon Hara. Could have been. So for that, the worm came out. But don't worry, everything's okay. Everything's okay. So you see, David HaMelech tells us that the agonies, the difficulties of life, everybody has them. It all depends on how you view them.